Hi, I'm Nathan Jones. Today it's time to get the hip boots on. You're going goose hunting with me up to Elaine Lake Outfitters in Northern Saskatchewan. This was my first time hunting geese, and boy, what a place to learn. I've had several friends watch the raw footage and they could not believe what they saw. And consequently, they all agreed that I have now been ruined forever. I'm glad you're all along with us today. This is Martin Archery's Wild Extremes. Martin Archery's Wild Extremes is being brought to you by Martin Archery, making the most accurate bows for over 50 years. Double Bull Archery, home of the Dark Archer. With your host, Nathan Jones. And also brought to you in part by these other great companies: the Kankakee Marsh Hunt Club, Grim Reaper Broadheads, Mothwing Camo, Carbon Tech Arrows. We've had a lot of action. And Kicking Bear one-on-one.
My God, I love this.
This segment of Martin Archery's Wild Extremes is being brought to you by Martin Archery, making the most accurate bows for over 50 years. Ornithologists agree snow geese come in two subspecies, known as greater and lesser snows. The birds nest and raise their young in the Arctic along the coast, but once the urge to migrate south arises, the geese come together to create flocks that are in numbers which are staggering to see. With the population estimates of over 3 million birds and climbing, it's easy to see why Canada and the States have such liberal bag limits. The birds' first stop is in Saskatchewan, where they carpet the grain fields that Canada is so famous for. Elaine Lake Outfitters being one of the first areas that the snow geese stage to start the long migration to the southern United States.
4:45, and the birds are back out, so we're just coming out to make sure exactly where they are in the field, so when we come out this morning, tomorrow morning, we'll know exactly where to set up. And they're spread out over, well, it must be almost a half a mile here. So it looks like we're just going to have to pick a spot, and hopefully they'll come in the morning. Often if you don't set up in the right spot in the morning, like just being in the field isn't good enough. You got to sort of be where the birds want to be. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to stop here and have a look and see where we're going to set up in the morning.
I was finding to be successful at goose hunting, it took a lot of scouting and preparation. Now, you guys used these before, Reg, and you said that one time kind of spooked the birds, but then there may have been some other reason that they spooked.
That was the theory. One time my partner thought they worked great, and then the other time one of the goose hunters thought they spooked the geese. But
right.
That's going to be kind of a...
Well, Reg, I could buy one of these and work at the airport. Couldn't I?
We're going to paint these white.
By painting the decoys white and using them in our decoy spread, we were hoping the motion of them would divert the attention of the geese off of the camera, allowing us to not only roll some great footage, but put several of them in the truck as well. Next came the blinds. How to keep the camera out of sight of those sharp-eyed birds, yet capture all of the action.
I'm excited. This is my first goose hunt. This is, yeah.
Well, I hope it works out good, because if it does, it's awesome.
So, Reg, what is the method here? Just stick them. It's got to be tough for their ego to know that they got shot with by the use of a plastic bag.
Due to the trait of snow geese staying in huge flocks, to fool them into committing to your decoys, you have to put out a lot of them. And by a lot, I mean hundreds.
I think from what we saw last night, we're going to be into them. Well, last night these geese were in here right on top of each other by the thousands. So it'll be pretty wild. Pretty wild today. So, Reg, how many are we going to put out? My arms are tired. Till you say stop, right?
Till we get sick of it, I guess.
This is General Red. And the deal with these white geese is it just they fly in such numbers it just takes a bunch of decoys to fool them. Yeah. And right where we're standing now, these geese were strung out by the thousands for a half a mile through here. That's crazy. I'll keep sticking plastic bags in the ground.
I started realizing this goose hunting stuff takes a lot of work.
Well, are you ready?
And indeed we were. This hunt is just getting started. There will be more of Martin Archery's Wild Extremes when we return.
Take them.
You're watching the hunt just getting underway right here on Martin Archery's Wild Extremes. Even though with the high numbers meaning that hunting opportunities are awesome, it is also a detriment to the ecology where the geese spend their time in the summer and winter ranges. They feed in a manner referred to as grubbing, which means that the geese, being vegetarians, eat the plants clear down to the bottom of the roots. By doing so, not only does the salinity content raise in the soil, but also with virtually all plant matter eradicated, erosion takes a hefty toll on the shorelines. The only manner in which to control the population is by hunting. On this first morning, we were hunting a monster flock of geese that had roosted on a lake that lay at the bottom of the hill we set up on. The geese we were hunting were coming off of the lake with the intention of feeding in Reg's barley field. And there we lay in the middle of several hundred plastic bags, all of us with smiles on our faces.
Unbelievable.
At this time of the season in Saskatchewan, your bag limit can include 20 white geese, 8 dark geese, and numerous ducks. So the 6 of us just kept right on shooting.
Team Reg. That one lost altitude.
Get you some of that, huh? Good job, buddy.
With a population of over 3 million strong, when snow geese commit to your decoys, it's like an all-out assault.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they're just out of reach, aren't they, Reg?
Yep.
Here comes 3. If they don't, they're not low enough though. I led that one a mile.
I'm always slow on the draw. You guys started before I did.
Well, guys, here's the end of our first morning. We are picking up our geese and getting ready to pull our decoys, or I guess you should say our plastic bags, pull them out of the ground, and this single just flew over, and we put him on the ground. What beautiful birds they are, guys. And this is, we're up here at Elaine Lake Outfitters, and what an incredible morning this was. We literally, without a doubt, saw tens of thousands of birds fly over this morning. It was unbelievable. And this is my first goose hunt. You know, you guys know that I'm primarily a bow hunter, chasing those whitetails, but this is cool. We're going to be at it tomorrow. We've got our buddy Zane coming in to hunt with us, Zane Pilipo, and him and Brian Guffey are going to man the guns tomorrow. And Leon, are you going to be here tomorrow?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Leon's going to be here. We're going to have Reg out here, and I think probably you're going to hunt snows again tomorrow, or what's on tap?
Snows and some Canadas, I think.
Okay, you got a field that the Canadas are coming into. We're going to get another one to come in here. I'm going to bust another one right out of the air as a single. It's a singles club here. Come on in. Yeah. Now this field we hunted in this morning, could we do good in here tomorrow or no?
Probably not. We won't hunt the same field 2 days in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you guys hunt this field again like in a week or 2 weeks or what? Or
if they're back in here again, usually not. Usually we'll hunt one field once a season and that's it.
Okay. But you guys have vast amounts of ground out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's no problem
endless.
finding hunting spots out here. No, it's real good.
Well, come on in. Well, if they come in, I think we'll feed them some steel.
I think so. I'm gonna grab my gun.
There you go.
I got him.
Good shooting. How's that? Sitting here talking, give me some love. Sitting here talking about tomorrow and dump 2 more.
Yeah,
I think we'll just stand here.
Yeah, you bet.
And almost if on cue, here came another pair. At this rate, we were never going to get the truck loaded.
Got him.
Double. Come here, Leon. Give me some more love.
All right.
We're standing here. We can't get the decoys back in the truck. Leon's out there, our retrieving geese. Arm on that side, Leon's going to be about 3 inches longer. We're going to get these geese cleaned and then be back with more of Martin Archery's wild extremes at Elaine Lake Outfitters. This segment of Martin Archery's Wild Extremes is being brought to you by Double Bull Archery, home of the Dark Archer. The goose population in the recent past has exploded due to the mild winters and also due in part to the habitat created from, of all things, urbanization of rural property. During the fall migration of all species of geese and ducks, farm fields become targets, and the birds can pulverize a crop in short order. So I guess you could say that Reg Qualley does his part in protecting the local farmers' crops. Now, let's jump in with Reg as he and Brian Guffey plan strategy for tomorrow's hunt.
We just like to come out in the afternoons when the geese start coming to the field. There's a small flock coming there right now. And it's important to us to find out exactly which part of the field they're sitting in. If you see a field of geese, that's, great, but you should really know where they want to land initially. So that's where you will set up in the morning. So we've been here for a few minutes now, and these geese are setting up kind of in the far side of the field, so that's where we'll set up in the morning. There's a few whites out there, but I think we'll mostly set up for the Canadas.
So they're just coming off a lake over there, and then
There's actually 2 lakes. There's one straight east of us and another one a bit southeast of us, and they're coming off both lakes, yeah. And I don't know how many flocks there's been now, what, dozen, 20, something like that, quite a few.
about every minute there's one right behind them.
Yeah, there's more coming. I can hear more coming too. So hopefully she'll be a good shoot tomorrow morning.
Maybe they'll space out a little longer
Yeah,
in between flocks.
that's what we need. We need them more than a minute apart.
With the chosen field scouted and visible evidence that geese were indeed using the field, plans were made to once again place the decoys well before daylight the next morning. And once again, the gray dawn brought the geese to the field by the thousands. Reg Qualley and brother-in-law Dale Pratt outfit an area that is right in one of the direct migration routes, which makes their goose hunting second to none. So when you book a goose hunt with Elaine Lake Outfitters, you had better bring extra shells. I know that after just one morning of hunting with Elaine Lake Outfitters, my shoulder felt the results of the burgeoning flocks.
I just about lit up on that raven there, that crow. That was close. Takes a little getting used to popping. Oh.
Brian, who does a lot of waterfowling in Missouri, can definitely knock him out of the air. It was awesome to sit behind him and watch the marksmanship at work. On the hunt this morning, we enlisted the help of Reg and Dale to man some guns. Due to their heavy guiding schedule, they get very little time to hunt for themselves, so they took some well-deserved time out to show the Wild Extremes crew how to make it happen. Those boys can definitely shoot.
You got a pair, bud.
That was a nice one.
I couldn't
Right on,
swing through my right there.
Don't like that, mate.
I couldn't swing over.
Yes!
Way to go, buddy!
Doubled up on them freaks.
Guys, I'll tell you what, this hunting at Elaine Lake Outfitters is awesome. You guys have seen us bear hunt with these guys, deer hunt with them. But this goose hunting is just killing, man. This is awesome.
And you know, as crazy as this sounds, Reg called and told me after we left, it was another 5 days before the really big flock showed up. I couldn't believe it.
Well, man, I tell you what, thank you so much for having us up and goose hunting. We did, yesterday was opening day up here in Saskatchewan. We shot a bunch of white geese,
Right.
and it was a great hunt. And then today we got into these dark geese, these big Canadians, and I think everybody got some shooting. So that was cool.
You know, after that first volley of geese came through, I thought I was going to be picking feathers out of my teeth. And I've got Reg Qualley of Elaine Lake Outfitters to thank for that. I came home from that hunt with a wealth of appreciation for all of you guys and gals out there that love your waterfowl. Don't miss next week's show. We're back up in Saskatchewan hunting with Elaine Lake Outfitters, only this time I'm going black bear hunting, and let me tell you this, literally face to face with a big black bear. In all my years of bear hunting to date, this was my closest encounter with a great big bear. Thankfully, I had my Martin Slayer in hand. Be sure and be here next week where the slammin' will still continue. Martin Archery's Wild Extremes has been brought to you by Martin Archery. making the most accurate bows for over 50 years. Double Bull Archery, home of the Dark Archer. And also in part by these other great companies. Grim Reaper Broadheads, Mosswing Camo, Carbon Tech Arrows, the Kankakee Marsh Hunt Club, and Kicking Bear One-on-One. Additional products have been provided by these companies.
Man, Charlie, buddy, we got us a monster.
This has been a Wild Serenade production.